Skyscraper window cleaners of Reddit, what is most bizarre thing you've ever seen on the job? My uncle has been doing this job over 20 years, so I've had a few weird stories off him. A woman filming a porno. A sign on a window asking them to not clean the bathroom window. Obviously not knowing which window was to what room they went about their jobs. The bathroom had skinned rabbits hung up. A hoarder whose windows were slowly being hidden by the years of collections. A famous footballer who was not with his wife. Not long after this, the company were asked to sign this. What looked like a murder scene. Uncle reported it but was later told it was fake blood for a TV show that was filming there. His favorite? A dog breeder? Okay, breeder not the right word. Someone who had 2 litters, and every 4 weeks he went back to clean the building and got to see the pups growing up. When he went back and they were roughly 12 weeks, there was 1 pup left. He asked for her and now has got a Rottie called Holly. Edit, dog tax, meet Holly. Okay guys, here's a couple more pics of Holly. The footballer was Rooney. The hooker he was doing while his wife was pregnant. This post is exactly what I was looking for. Absolutely. Sex, murder, intrigue, scandal and a happy ending. Put 'em all together into one room. Baby, you got a stew going. My grandfather met my grandma while working as a window washer. He put his phone number right up against the glass of her office and hoped she wrote it down. She did and called, and they've been married for 60 years. One time in college I answered a help wanted ad for a window cleaner. I thought it was going to be one of these high-rise jobs. Instead, when I showed up the interview, it was some methy-looking guy in a parking lot. I spent the day with him going from house to house cleaning people's windows. He told me to pretend I was his nephew and he kept introducing me to customers that way. Then when we were cleaning windows he kept telling me his fantasies of ducking the housewives. It was super weird. Plus, he chewed tobacco and while driving would spit the juice between his legs onto the floor of his ratty truck. Then at the end of the day he told me it was just an audition and tried not to pay me. One of the strangest days of my life. I was 15, could pass for 18 on the job at a heavy construction site, and got told on the Friday payday of my second week by my boss he knew I was 15 and so he didn't have to pay me for busting my ass for him for the past 90 hours of labor, and to get lost and cry to my mommy and daddy, and he would sue me. When I said I would tell the Department of Labor, I got the job through one of their posts. He told me he knew where I lived and that it would not turn out well. I lived with my parents at 15, of course. I left, told my older brother, got another construction job within a couple of days that didn't pay quite as well, and stayed focused, but still a little angry. The contractors' vehicles all began showing up on the side of the roads all over town, getting towed to all the shops in town with destroyed transmissions and other problems. Their largest crane was basically destroyed. Welders, etc. The contractor defaulted on the job due to a total lack of progress on the job and had liens placed against it. He eventually lost his home and went through a divorce in the aftermath. 10 years later, after college, my brother confided that when he heard they threatened me and my parents' home, he and some friends had added things to every engine block, transmission, or hydraulic system they could find on the contractor site. Wow. That is blood stuff right there. And the intelligence to keep it secret for a decade. Friend was fresh out of the shower sitting at her computer desk naked when the window cleaners were at her place. She heard a noise so she turned around to see 2 men outside her 3rd-story window. So she screams and runs into the bathroom to hide. Later she calls the building management to complain and they tell her that a notice went out and she must not have seen it. Then building management decided to ask the window cleaning service to send those guys to her apartment to knock on the door and apologize to her. Hilariously awkward. Then building management decided to ask the window cleaning service to send those guys to her apartment to knock on the door and apologize to her. Hilariously awkward. Yikes. Yeah. Unnecessary on their part, and uncomfortable on hers. Unless they're all hot. Then it's a porno. Unless they're all hot. It's weird how many things that one factor impacts. I am a window cleaner, but not high-rise. The thing I can never understand is when I see lip prints where people have kissed the glass in public buildings. People, if you saw what I clean off of those every week, you would never touch the glass, especially not with your lips. Edit, since a lot of people are asking when the glass is super dirty, it's usually grease, old condiments, bird poop, salt from the sidewalks, winter in Colorado. And a lot of the time I can't even tell what it is, I just know looks and smells bad. On a similar thread, at the Shard in London it's not uncommon to see forehead imprints on the glass. The building leans in towards its central point, and whenever anyone tries to look down to the ground level, they inevitably end up headbutting the windows. Can agree, I have done this in the Shard XD. I was visiting my grandparents in a high-rise, looking out their windows a few stories up. As the window cleaners went by, I happily watched them clean, hands folded behind my back, because the windows were a one-way type thing where they were basically mirrors from the outside in. I knew this because I'd seen the building from the outside. Unbeknownst to me, the level of reflectivity changes pretty drastically depending on the time of day, and I realized that when the window cleaners were going by, they had to wash the windows while some weirdo, me, stood about 12 inches from the window watching their form. Not me, but my uncle has been doing it for years and had many weird encounters, but this one is kinda sad. Having changed companies, he started at this new apartment building. Near the top there was this old lady with a dog. The dog was young enough and was always excited to see him. Eventually he started talking to this woman when he was working through a small window. They became somewhat friends. Then one day, almost a year on the job, he went up and for the first time the apartment was empty except for the dog, which he found odd, so when he was finished up he tried to check and see if she was in but got no reply. A day later a member of staff from the apartment block, I think it was the landlord but can't remember, got back to him and told him that she passed away and that she had no family. Assuming that my uncle knew her, the landlord asked about the dog, seeing if there was anything that could be done. My uncle, being the kind fella he was, took the dog. Nearly 10 years later my uncle still has the dog, a little terrier named Pumpkin. Edit, for those that asked for a picture of the dog, this is a recent enough one. Dog tags, here is Pumpkin. Yay. Very happy for both of them. What about the poor old lady? She gets nothing? No, you get nothing. Good day, sir. Willy wanna rip spelling hurts my head. Willy wanna sounds like a dyslexic porn star. Or that new rapper the kids are all about. I am not a window cleaner, but a paramedic. We got a call once to a suicidal window cleaner guy once. We could see what was going on as we approached. He was swinging around and doing tricks in between each wipe of the window. Like giant swinging leaps and who knows what else. The police had him come down and asked him what he was doing, and he said he just really loves his job. So we told him he needs to be safe and left him to go back to work. Not a skyscraper cleaner, but the person on the other side of the window. I was using a single occupancy restroom on the 22nd floor of a building that had a floor-to-ceiling glass window along the side of the toilet. Weird, I know. Anyways, I'm taking a wicked crap, and I was wearing a romper, so sitting there in just a bra, with my romper around my ankles, shitting my little heart out. I saw the window washer and was a little startled but thought the windows were tinted, it was fine. Alas, we accidentally made eye contact as I was standing up to wipe my ass. Clearly tinting does not work up close. Could have died. Well, I was washing the outside of the windows at the group home I work at. State was coming by later that week and I was super bored. I walk up to one of my dude's bedroom windows to wash it off and apparently he hears me outside somehow even though he had his radio turned up to about 9,000, like he always does. He rips up his blinds, totes naked, and starts slapping himself repeatedly in the forehead and screaming. This was pretty normal for him, but it's definitely the strangest thing I've ever seen so far in my life while washing a window. What do you mean by the state was coming? Probably state inspections of healthcare facilities. What I got was a lot of flirting. I don't know if the pane of glass gave them a sense of safety, or if lots of office chicks are just bored, or if our red overalls were particularly fetching but something brought out the bachelorette instinct, notes pressed against the glass, pretend lesbian performances, you name it. Only seemed to happen when there was a group of ladies though. Edit, I'm not a pivots ex despite the weird similarities. Is it too late to switch careers? Is being a duck lord not as fulfilling as you thought it would be? As it turns out, ducks are shit subjects, they just smoke duckweed all day. Duckweed and quackane. True party animals. And heron, sorry. Don't be.